Today we are going to start with the session 13 on Boolean Algebra chapter. On this chapter, total weightage already explained. Total weightage of the chapter is 9 marks. Out of 9 marks, 2 marks 2 question as well as 5 marks 1 question they will ask. For 5 marks, they will ask solve the equation by using kernel map. This chapter is very easiest chapter. If you study regarding kernel map, then easily you can score 5 marks. Only kernel map, if you study, then you will get 100% 5 marks on your annual exam. What do you mean by kernel map? On this class you will study what do you mean by kernel map, how to write that, how to reduce the expression and how to get the final result. Regarding that you will study on this chapter. Whereas kernel map is also called it as key map or Venn diagram also we can say. Kernel map is also called it as K map, otherwise Venn diagram also we can say. And it is developed by Maurice Kernel. It is developed by Maurice Kernel, and with that here it helps to solve the equation in graphical methodology, in graphic format, in picture format, in diagrammatic format we can solve the equation. Whereas in some other pattern also by using truth table also we can reduce, or by using expression method also we can reduce, or by using kernel map also we can reduce the expression. Whereas on this class you will study how to reduce the expression by using kernel map. Whereas already I told you this method helps to reduce the expression by using graphical format, that is in pictorial format. By using rectangular box I can find out which is the variable, how to reduce the expression. On this already I told you in a rectangular format, by using cell format I can find the reduced form of a given expression. On this, for example, if you have two variables, then how to write the kernel map and how to reduce the expression. First, if you have two variables, then you will get only 4 cells, 4 boxes you will get. For example, x and y are the variable. X and y are the variable. 2 to the power of n number of cells we will get on this kernel map. For example, x and y are the variable. Then for both the cell write down x, here also x. On this part you write x, and whereas in upper side you write y. First step. First check how many variables are there. Then depending upon the variables, how many cells you will get, that you have to identify. First write down x part here, then y part here. Then for x it is bar and for y it is bar. Only for first part it is bar we have. What will be the designation, what will be the value inside that? First take down corresponding row and then corresponding column you have to take. In corresponding row we have x bar, then here column wise y bar. Next once again if we take the row wise, here we have x bar and here we have y. Whereas next cell x, then y bar. Corresponding row is x, corresponding column is y bar. Now here once again x, y. Then how to find the designation value? First write down 0, then 1, next 2, then 3. For 2 variables. If you have for 3 variables or 3 literals, then how to find out? See, there 2 to the power of 3, that is 2, 4, 6, 8 number of cells you will get. For example, here I am to take it as x and here I am to write y and z, 3 variables. First I am to write x in row format, x, x, here y, z, y, z, y, z, y, z. In column wise, only one variable, that's why only for the first part I used to write. In blind method, I can remember in such a way that for first 3, if you have 4 variables, 4 cells in row wise or column wise, on that time in blind method you can keep it for first 3 bar and for the last one it will be bar. For the first 3 bar, see, for the first one, second one and then third one. First 3 bar and then for the last one it is bar. First 3 and then last. Here if you want in the binary format also write, you can write it as 0, here it is 1. Whereas here 0, 0, first cell, 0, 0. Next here 0, 1. Here 1, 1. 1, 1. Next 1, 0. Now, what will be the cell values here? First write on corresponding row and then column. X bar, Y bar, Z bar. Next take down X bar, Y bar, Z. Next corresponding row is X bar, Y, Z. Next X bar, Y, Z bar. X bar, Y, Z bar. Next take down X, Y bar, Z bar. Next X, Y bar, Z. Next X, Y, Z. Corresponding row and corresponding column value to take. X, Y, Z bar. Now their corresponding. In Karnaugh map, keep it in your mind. Whenever third row as well as third columns come, on that time it will take a single jump. See, first 0, then 1. Here usually we used to write 2, but it takes single jump. Then here 2, then 3 here. 0, 1. On this place don't write 2. Their cell address, their designation address. It takes single jump. That's why here I don't 2 and then 3 here. Then 4, 5. On this place it will write 6, but it takes single jump. That's why here 6 and then here 7. This will be the designation value of the given K-map. Here also, see here, this is the designation value. Now, if you have 4 variables, then how to write the Karnaugh map? 2 to the power of n number of cells you will get. 4 means 2 to the power of 4. Then how many cells you will get? That you have to identify first. See, for example, W, X and this side Y, Z I am to write. First step, write on WX in all the part, WX, 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 WX and here YZ, 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 YZ. Now, on blind method, if you have 4 variables, then what you have to do? First 3 bar and then last one will be the complement bar. 1, 2, 3. And then for the last one, it is complemented. Here also 1, 2, 3. And then for the last one, it will be complemented in min term. Whereas in max term, it's the reverse of that. See, then what will the cell value? W bar, X bar, Y bar, Z bar. Next on this cell, W bar, X bar, Y bar, Z. Corresponding row and corresponding column to take. Here, W bar, X bar, Y, Z. Next, once again, W bar, X bar, Y, Z bar. Next, same pattern, write in corresponding row and corresponding column. W bar, X, Y bar, Z bar. Next, write down W bar, X, Y bar, Z. W bar, X, Y, Z. Corresponding column. Once again, W bar, X, Y, Z bar. Next here, once again, WX, Y bar, Z bar. WX, Y bar, Z. WX, Y, Z. WX, Y, Z bar. Next, W, X bar, Y bar, Z bar. Corresponding column and row. W, X bar, Y bar, then Z. W, X bar, Y, Z. W, X bar, Y, Z bar. Third row and third column, it will take single jump. Then what is the designation number? First starts with 0, 1. Don't write here 3 because it is third column. Write on here 2 and then 3. Next, 4, 5, third column. That's why here I do 6 and then here 7. Once again, third row it comes. That's why don't start 8 from here. Take a single jump. Then here, after 7, we used to write generally 8 here. But here you have to write because in third column as well as in third row, it takes single jump. That's why 8, 9. Don't write 10 here. 10, 11. Then 12, 13, 14, 15. See here, 0, 1, 2. Third row, third column as well as third row, it takes single jump. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here. Then third row, that's why once again it takes single jumps. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now this will represent the designation or designation number. Now is it clear? For 5 variable, if you have 6 variable, depending upon that, you will get the kernel map. This generally represents the kernel map for 2 variable. This represents kernel map for 3 variable, and this represents kernel map for 4 variable. First step itself, to solve any equation, first identify how many variables we have. Depending upon that, write down the cells, their values as well as position. That represents the second step. Then next, what you have to do? See here, which variable is common, that you have to identify. If you see the first part, we don't have any common property because only one literals here we have. If you take here these 2 rows, we don't have any common variables, literals. That's why we are not going to get reduced form. If you take these two parts, then you can identify the common factor. For example, if I am going to take these 2 parts, which is common here? If I am going to take these 2 rows, which is common, that I have to identify. For example, on this, W bar become common factor. W bar become common factor. See here, X bar, X will cancel, W bar, W bar. If I am going to take these 2 columns, see here, X and X bar will cancel, common will be W here. Now, if I am going to consider these 2 rows, that is row number 2 and row number 3. On these 2, which is common factor? X is common factor. Now is it clear? Then, from these 2 rows, which is common, that you have to identify. From these 2, Z bar and Z will cancel, common factor will be represents Y bar. If I am going to consider these 2 columns, which is common, on these 2, Z, Y bar and Y will cancel, common represents Z. And on these 2 columns, which is common, Z and Z bar will cancel, Y is common. Now is it clear? Like that, I can identify which is common factor on the given expression. By using that, I can able to reduce the given expression. If I want to solve any K-map, first step, write the K-map representation, how many variables we have. Then write on the min term value. In the question, if they are given min term, then write on wherever the min term value they are given, they write on 1. For the remaining cell, write down 0. Then next step, first step, write the K-map. Second step, fill values 1 wherever the min term values they are given. Then adjacent 1 you have to circle properly depending upon the role map. Octal, quad, pair as well as single. Depending upon that, you have to circle the given expression. And then finally, reduce the given expression. For example, if I want to solve any expression, first I am to write a rough K-map and then I will tell you how to identify, how to solve the given expression, how to identify the adjacent circle, that I am to tell you now. For example, if you have first solve K-map, under that first I have to check role mapping. Role mapping. Then second you have to identify octet. Octet. Next you have to identify quad. Next you have to find out the pair. Pair. Finally you have to find out the single. In role map also once again you have to check octet, quad. Next you have to find out pair. Then what do you mean by role mapping? Role mapping means, consider this is your K-map. If the corridors are matching, then I can say it as role mapping. For example, here also we have values, here also we have values. If I combine these parts, This has to be matching. Then it can be called as role mapping. If I want, I can combine here. Otherwise, consider this is the K-map. If I want, I can combine like this. These borders, if it is matching, then I used to call it as K-map. K-map, under that role mapping. For example, if I have all the borders 1, for example, consider this is a K-map. If I am going to fold this pattern, if all the borders are matching, combining, then also I can call it as role mapping. That I am to show within this K-map pattern. Consider we have a K-map. Consider here we have 1, 1, 1. Here also 1, 1, 1, 1. Consider this is your K-map. Consider your K-map. When you combine these, the border has to be combined. This is your role map. Otherwise, here also I am having 1, here also I am having 1. Then I can combine these two ones, because consider this is your K-map. On this, if I combine this, only the border 1 is matching. On this also in role map, first you have to check for octal. Octal means 8. For example, if you have one more kernel map, I will show you. Like this, if you have 1, then I can role map these two parts. This is your K-map. I can combine like this. These 4 I can take. That is octal. In role map also we have to check whether it is octal or quad or pair, that you have to check. Then what do you mean by octal or octet? In octet, 4 adjacent position has to be combined. For example, consider this one K-map. On that, adjacent 4 ones are matching or combining. Then we can say it as it is quad. For example, here if I am having 1, here if you are having 1, then we can combine these 4. This is nothing but quad, 4 variable. Octet means 8 has to be combined, quad means 4 has to be combined. And pair, for example, the same K-map I am to take, and then on that we will explain pair. For example, here also I am having 1 and here also I am having 1. Then 2 adjacent 1 if I am going to circle, then it can be called as pair. Pair. Role mapping first I have to check, then under that also octet, quad, then I have to check pair. After that next I have to check octet, then quad, pair. Then later on finally we have to check for single. For example, here if I am having 1, any one variable, only one variable in the given expression. For example, here only I am to take 1. I am not able to circle any adjacent 1. In this pattern, if I am going to combine, then it is not can be called as a K-map. Then this is single. First you have to check these rules: role map, octet, quad, pair, and then single. Finally, after that, you have to write the reduced expression. Next class, I am to explain how to solve a K-map for a given expression, how to write the reduced form by using min term as well as max term. That I am to explain you in the next class. Whereas on this class, you have studied what do you mean by K-map, who developed, and what is the another name for that, what exactly by using K-map, what we exactly do, what do you mean by quad, octal, octet, role mapping, pair, and then single. Regarding that, you have studied on this class. The remaining thing we'll explain in the next class. Thank you for all of you.